Are you going to be flying your seaplane through northern Minnesota? Consider the Grand Rapids Airport and Seaplane Base for fuels. Besides that, they have a good terminal service for airline service to Minneapolis.
I'm Butch Detchen from Airways Aviation in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, and we're just going to give a little rundown of what we provide for seaplane operation at our seaplane base in GPZ, Minnesota. Um, we've got a what we call the pond here, right at the airport. It's a 2,000 foot circular pond with 1,000 foot dredged out slip in it. So it works great for accommodating most airplanes. We do a lot of maintenance. There is fuel provided there. You can fly in to the airport, get your float changes done. We can trailer the airplanes down to the seaplane base, and off you can go. So we have a lot of our customers are here for the on the maintenance side, just for the float changes, and you can get fuel. Any other services we can provide for even for the different aircraft. We go anywhere from 185s down to Champs or Cubs on floats. So Beavers, we do maintenance on those also. So.
Engine overhauls, electronics, and things like that?
No radio shop. We don't have a radio shop here, and the engine overhaul we can install the engines, remove the engines, but we don't do the overhauls themselves.
What kind of fuel is available for the seaplanes? Is it 100 or
100 low lead fuel, and we do also have jet. We've got trucks here that we can drive down to the seaplane base to fuel if it was a situation where somebody is on caravan on straight floats. We could provide fuel for a jet fuel airplane also, but most of our fueling for the seaplanes is 100 low lead, and we do have trucks for both avgas and 100.
If somebody asks for auto fuel, is that available? Is that there?
We don't have auto fuel here, but we do have we have a courtesy van and a truck here that if you needed to, we could go get auto fuel, but we do not carry the auto fuel. We have some dredged out slips with tie down anchors on them, so you can taxi in to tie down if you're in overnight or so. We've got about 5 of them down here and stuff, and there's a floating dock out there right out by the cattails there, and then this is a main slip for putting the airplanes in and out. And again, over to this side we have a few more of the dredged out slips. Okay, we've got a concrete mat in here and stuff, but a little further out in the water there is rubber mats laid out for so there's no damage done to the bottom of the floats. And our floating dock is we went to a floating dock just because as the level of the water increases or decreases, it keeps the dock at the same height, which works out really slick. So,
Can all the airplanes get out of this lake?
The only airplane that we ever had any trouble with the exception of an overloaded airplane, is we floated a Howard one year, and it was in July and August, and the Howard, well, it's got a 985 radial in it, so it's got lots of power, but it's got a fairly short wing on it. Real high speed once it gets in the air. I believe it cruised at like 135 knots once it got in the air. But that's the only one we ever had trouble getting an airplane out of the seaplane base here was that Howard. That one we had to haul down to the river about a mile or so. So otherwise, all the other airplanes come and go out of here with really no problem. Just got to pay a little attention how heavy you're loaded. Last night we got a little bit of a cold snap that came through. We got a thin layer of ice that's on the lake right now at November 5th, but it'll wind up opening up. We're supposed to have nice weather in the 50s here and stuff, so most of the time this pond will freeze up. First part of November till the middle of November, it'll wind up being froze. We have approximately 30 airplanes that we maintain year-round here. For seaplanes, and they're not used as much, but the slips, occasionally we'll have 3 to 4 airplanes depending on the time of the year parked in the slips, but most of the airplanes are taken in and out and brought into hangars, so they don't have to worry about hail damage and such. So if you came through, we do have guys that come through here from sometime worried about weather a little bit. We could take them out of the pond, bring them up in the hangar, so they got a roof over their head, so they don't have to worry about hail damage or storm damage. From time to time, we do have folks that come in, say, for a float airplane float change, and the folks will have all their gear, and other passengers that would like to go on to, say, Canada to go fishing. What we do in that situation, we'll put the pilot in the airplane in the pond here. They'll fly out of here, fly over to another local lake about a mile away that's a lot larger in size, and then they can take the rest of their passengers and gear and load up there to continue on their trips.
Dave, we're going to fly over the Seaplane base just so you can see what it looks like, and we got a beautiful day for it here.
Sit there. Clear prop. Adam, who flies up in Alaska, came back to Minnesota to do a little deer hunting. And while there, he offered to take me up for a ride so we could photograph what it looked like coming down through the ditch to land in the lake. But during the mag run-up, we discovered a 200 RPM drop. We thought it might have been a foul plug. We tried to burn it off, but it didn't work. So we had to bring the airplane back to the hangar. And it was lunchtime, so this was no time to take a look at the problem. Thanks anyway, Adam.
This is a Saab 340 that we're in the process of parting out for a company that purchased the airplane to take the rotables off and the parts off, and they in turn turn around and sell the parts off this airplane. It's been here a few years. We still got a few of the bones to pick on it yet and stuff, but there's still some awful valuable parts at times when they're not available from the factory. So it's kind of sits around here still getting parted out.
The Grand Rapids Seaplane Base offers good service. Next time you're in northern Minnesota, stop at GPZ.